Speaker, that they should do pre-publication with the committee. It makes work very easy for them, and they're able to do a checklist and make sure that that checklist, as per Statutory Instruments Act, is complied with, the Constitution, and any other relevant law. Unfortunately, this never happened, and we painfully proposed to annul these regulations, for they never met fully public participation, which is a requirement of under Article 10 of the Constitution. The ministry claimed that it did public consultation. One of the major stakeholders of this regulation is the COG, the governors, Mr. Speaker. If the counties who are supposed, now that health is devolved under the Constitution, if the counties are not properly consulted and they are not even aware of the publications of the regulations, it becomes very difficult. And the COG has come out very strongly to our committee, whatever regulations are passed without consulting them as a major stakeholder, Mr. Speaker. And unfortunately, this did not happen in this case. We had also the impact assessment. You know, they have to provide an impact assessment. And in the event you have to give an exception, is there, under Section 9 of the Statutory Instruments Act, then there is a threshold of that particular abstaining or failing to provide. So there were so many gapings, and now that the minister never turned up, the people the minister sent really tried in vain without giving proper explanations as to why the regulations had so much missing. One of the biggest problems was how they were going to assess the needfulness of a family in the Republic of Kenya. And we have quite a number of many needful families which may now qualify to be paid for by the state. Mr. Speaker, that could not be availed. We waited for the minister to bring it on board, and she never did. And therefore, there was left a big problem. And even that, the time we were doing this annulment, the Gen Zs had not even come up with their own many complaints they have come up with. And the issue of health insurance has been a big debate in the country. And therefore, there was every need to make very good law and subsequently regulations so that it doesn't generate a negative debate. So I think Senate has done very well, and I want to convince all senators to uphold the position of the committee. Let the minister go to the drawing board. Let the minister do public participation. Let the minister consider memorandums from experts and the stakeholders of the county governments. Let the minister comply with the law of statutory instrument. Otherwise, if we were to allow these regulations in the way they had been presented and without the tariff from the Attorney General's office, which were also supposed to be gazetted, then we are going to bring more souls into the problems of Kenyans. Health is a very, very serious matter. You heard the senator from Migori talk of his experiences, how he unfortunately lost his mother due to lack of very little money, due to lack of health insurance, due to lack of such. And many, many Kenyans are going through this. Many of these Gen Zs are not insured. Many of these Gen Zs and many other Kenyans want to know how they'll be treated when there is a need of this nature, when you have been shot by police, when you have been injured in a road accident, and that data has to be availed. One of the major problems was how they were going to transit from the current NHIF to the new regulations and to the new law. I believe government institutions go through an automatic transition. They enjoy perpetual succession. But these answers were missing, and this is one institution. And the management of this has been part of the big-time corruption in this country, Mr. Speaker. It has enriched a few individuals and made very many people poor. We are still doing a rampage for people who are unable to pay school fees and university fees, medical fees. Many, many people lose their lives, for they cannot be attended to when there is an emergency or when they get sick. And therefore, there is a need for us, the Senate, to make sure that we interrogate regulations thoroughly I really want to thank the chairman of the committee, and the Honorable Senator Mofaya. I want to thank the secretariat of the committee, the lawyers of the committee, for being so thorough and for bringing forth a lot of issues, a lot of questions, and for being of a great assistance to the committee to analyze the law and to point out to the ministry. And before I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the Committee of Senate Delegated Legislation made sure it gave the Ministry of Health enough chances to correct whatever messes they had created in the regulations. But unfortunately, they did not, and the Act cannot be implemented without proper regulation. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second and urge Senate to reject these torturous regulations, which are unconstitutional, they are illegal, and this will go a long way in helping solve the problems of Kenyans, especially the Gen Zs and all Kenyans who suffer very much when they get sick or they go to hospitals. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and ask the Minister to be vigilant, and together with the permanent secretaries and her and all the team to be vigilant so that Kenyans may be served well. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Thank you very much, Senator from Makueni, for this, for seconding the motion. And now, Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Social Health Insurance General Regulations 2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024 laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 2nd of July 2024, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, the Senate resolved to annul 1. The Social Health Insurance General Regulations 2024, Legal Notice Number 49 of 2024, and 2. The Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024, Legal Notice Number 48 of 2024. Honorable Senators, I'll now call upon members who are willing to speak to this particular motion, and I'll give the opportunity to Senator Mwinyi Mohamed Faki, Senator for Mombasa.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia ripoti ya kamati ya sheria endelezi ya Bunge la Seneti katika kuchunguza na kuidhinisha kanuni za sheria ya afya ya kijamii